everybody. Happy Saturday. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since I've made a video. Before I begin, I would like to express my deepest condolences to Nana and send you so much love, Nana. We love you so very much and are praying for you and holding you up. Oh, Papa will be greatly missed within our community and in your family and in your household. I know that Papa is dancing with the angels and singing, and he will be with you always. And I just want to send you so much love, Nana. It was shocking news. I saw Annie's video. As soon as I saw the title, I reached out to Nana. So Nana and I have been chatting, so I don't need to say much on here. But I did not want to make my next video and not express my condolences. And Nana, you know I love you so very much. So we'll be praying for you. And then Debbie of Reborn Blessed, been praying for you. I'm not sure if Lori's made an update recently, but Debbie has gone home and is continuing her recovery at home. So thank the good Lord for that, Debbie. I love you so very much, and I'm so happy you're home, and home is the best place to heal. So there just seems to be a lot going on everywhere right now, ladies. I tell you what, you know, it's, what's that old saying? When it rains, it pours. And I just feel like, not only in my life, but in many of my family and friends' lives, it just seems like right now there's so much going on. So I know Nana made a lovely video, and she also expressed that a few other people in her life have passed away. We've had a couple people in our family and friends pass away in the last few weeks. It just seems like life is life, and I have been quite absent from YouTube, and it's just life. It's nothing personal. As y'all know, first, before I'll catch up I'm going to be changing. My dear sweet Zolani is laying here. She is wearing this Parisian outfit that I made her, and I'm going to change her into something a little more, I hope she has a onesie on under there. I don't know if she does or not. I'm going to change her into something a little more summery here, and then I will describe her outfit once she has it on, but I'm just going to chatter away while I change her. She doesn't get much screen time. She spends a lot of time out with me where I paint, so I thought I would change her. Anyway, so if you watched I think my last video was actually Princess Adelaide's box packing. So she has safely made it home, obviously, since her box packing is up, and her mommy's very happy with her. I gotta lift her up here. It's very different doing this on the couch versus downstairs. What was I gonna say? And then I think prior to that I had explained. So if you didn't see the other videos where I talked about our basement taking in water, I'm going to do a little bit of update on that. So if you didn't know, I'll briefly just say, probably now it's been, what, maybe 5 weeks ago? 4 or 5 weeks ago? It's all kind of been a blur, ladies. We took in we had torrential rains here where I live, and we still continue to. Yesterday, actually, the alarm, we live right across the street from one of those, we call it the tornado alarm, but it rings for severe thunderstorms and all that stuff too. And it went off a couple times yesterday. We were under a severe thunderstorm, potential hail threat. It was a short window, and then they actually, when it went off the second time, I looked again, and it was set till evening. So they had extended it by several hours. And we did have quite the downpour, lots of thunder and lightning. Thankfully, since that original influx of seepage downstairs, we have not brought in more water. And we have had several storms since then. We actually had about 2.5 weeks where it got really hot out. It was in the mid to upper 80s. And there was no rain, so the ground actually had a chance to dry out pretty good. But I'll tell you, that first time it it really downpoured a few weeks later, I thought, well, here we're going to have our big test here. And thankfully, no water came in. It was not to the degree of the rain we had been having, but had the ground not dried out, I'm pretty sure we would have brought water in. So thankfully, in all the rains we've had since the initial influx of water, we have not taken any more in. So the update is, as you can see, I'm still upstairs. The downstairs, I'm trying to recall. Yes, I did, because I showed you all the boxes that are still, and they're still sitting up here. We have had, so after we had several days of rain, and then we had a huge thunderstorm, I reached out to our landlord, because I hadn't really heard from them, and just said, you know, we've had all these storms, and, you know, because they really wanted to, like, test and see if no water was going to come in. So, anyway, after some backing and forthing, they have had somebody come out to look at the exterior of the property and give them a quote on preventing that from happening again. And then they've also had a flooring person come out and measure, and they had discussed with me a few different options, one of which was just to paint the floor, and they wanted my input, and I said, no, I don't want the floor just painted. You know, it's concrete, and I have to walk on it. Plus, it was an epoxy paint, and I was concerned. I don't know what epoxy paint smells like, but it sounded a little toxic to me. So I nixed that right away. And then the other options were, they did not want to put carpeting down there again, which, fair enough, I can, you know, understand that. I'm going to put the sweater on her too, because she has 3/4 limbs. Anyway, the tile options, one was linoleum, and then the other was called luxury vinyl plank. And I really liked the sound of that one, and I told them, I said, oh, I like that one, and they said that they would go with the linoleum. I was fine with either, but I did like the sound of the vinyl plank. But they said they would probably go with the linoleum if there was a waterproof glue. But they had to check on, the flooring gentleman said he needed to check on that. And so anyway, they came back with, we're going with the luxury vinyl plank. Woohoo! So the wife of my landlord, it's a husband and wife, she had narrowed it down to a couple choices, so they brought them over for me to make the final decision, but also to smell and make sure, which I thought was really kind of them, because I had, you know, expressed my concern about the epoxy paint. I should at least have her little rag doll there for y'all to look at. I've got her in my lap to do her hair and stuff, because it's really hard for me to lean over the boppy, you know, sitting on the couch. So anyway, I chose the color I liked, and the flooring gentleman was so kind, because he was here, you know, when I had expressed to my landlord, I said, you know, I really, you know, this is not like a family room down here that we're missing out on, you know, sitting on our cozy couch watching a big screen TV. This is my business. And he said he understood, and so the flooring man must have taken that to heart, because when they came back for me to pick the tile, he has offered to, the tile's going to take 2 to 3 weeks in. There are lots of people around here getting everything redone, because it, you know, we were actually blessed to only take in seepage water. Some people took in sewage. Other people, you know, got, you know, 6 to 10, 12 inches of water in their basement. So I am not missing the blessing that we only had seepage. So that is not lost on me by any means. I'm going to turn the Boppy so she's facing y'all. But I also want to get back to work. And so the flooring gentleman offered, once the tiles come in, to come by in the evening. It'll take a couple nights and install the flooring, which was so very kind of him. And so that is a blessing. And let me see if y'all are seeing her properly. That's all right, I guess. You're seeing. Let me see if I can. If I do that, maybe you'll see her a little better. There we go. So I just thought that was very, very kind of him, and I thanked him, you know, for offering and being willing to do that. And that conversation took place. When did he come over? Beginning of last week, I think. So the tile was ordered Monday. This past Monday is when they came back with the tiles for me to choose from. They had originally come over to measure and everything on, I believe it was the Friday before. And then, because I had, when did Judy and I, so no, it must have been before Friday. Anyway, I get lost in all the details. Judy and I, hi Judy from Bloyer Babies, we had, were talking, we had Skyped on, I think it was Friday, not yesterday, but the Friday before, and I was talking about, we were talking as she asked how things were going with the basement, and I told her that, you know, I gave her the update at that point, what was going on. And I, you know, said I'd really like to get back to painting, but I just, you know, I had thought about setting up a table up here, but my living room and kitchen are one really long room. Like there's no wall. It's an open floor plan. It's one really long room. And as I showed y'all in that other video, I have those boxes lined up against the one wall. And there's only 2 spaces in my living room, which is either side of my coffee table, that I could put a table to paint at. But the one closest to the door, obviously, I don't want to block an exit, because God forbid we would need to get out that door. And then the other one would be at the other end, which would be between, you know, right by the kitchen. But I'll be honest, right now, the only rooms that are not affected are our bedroom and the bathroom. The kitchen doesn't have any stuff from downstairs in it, but because it's one open room, when I'm in the kitchen, I see all the boxes in the living room. So I just didn't want to set up a table here and add more. And so then I did contemplate painting, painting at the kitchen table. But part of my flow of painting is I love to mix lots of colors, and I have them on my table in certain places. So the thought of having to put away my paint every night, because I couldn't leave it there. My brain would not let me leave it on my kitchen table. I would have to put it away every night, and I think it would disrupt my flow. I'll just be honest. So Judy said, well, why don't you just set up a table downstairs with your back to all the mess? And I said, well, you know, laundry days have become really hard for me. And I realize this is totally a first world problem, and I need to get over myself. So, but this is my reality. And so every time I would go down there, because, you know, you go down, you put your initial load in, and then I go down and put fabric softener, then I go down, put that one in the dryer, put another one. Every time I go down the stairs and make that turn, I'm looking at that room. And to me, it's like my business has been shelved, and it's not within my control. I didn't have, at that point, I didn't have control over, I didn't know when they were coming. I didn't know when anything was being done, because they came over, the flooring guy and my landlord came over that Friday afternoon after Judy and I had talked. So this is my conversation with Judy. I just felt so out of control. Like, if I had communication, if I knew, you know, if it's in 6 months, if in 6 months from now you're doing the floor, fine. I just need to know that. I need to know what I'm telling my brain. Okay, it's temporary. It's in this time frame, blah, blah, blah. So laundry days became a little challenging for me, because it just, every time I would go down there, I would get sadder and sadder. just on that day. Like then the days in between, I would move on with life. But just going down there repetitiously on laundry days, which I do laundry 3 times a week. So, and I would self-talk, Kimberly, it's fine. This is temporary, get over it. It's organized. It's going to be worked out. Your landlords have always come through with other things. I was self-talking positively. So, but when Judy said, why don't you set up a table and turn your back to it? I had this light bulb moment, and I said I could set up a table in the nursery, because in reality, at the time, all the nursery had in it were my 2 9-cube organizers, and then the two that got ruined. I need to get rid of those, the 2 3 organizers. And I thought, oh, I could sit a table up in there, and I don't have to look at that. And then it killed 2 birds with 1 stone, because I'm like, on laundry days, I will just make sure I don't start because normally I start the laundry while I'm doing my chores and kind of go up and down, even if I'm going to paint later in that day. But what I'm doing now is I take my laundry down when I go down to paint. So I'm sitting in there. I did have to set the table up at the near end, right by the closet, because the only overhead lighting in that room is right there. In the back, y'all know I have that fairy light, the twinkly lights. So that wasn't bright enough. And I do have all my out lights set up, but I was going to face the door, and I had my table set up that way, and I just couldn't, because I could see not a lot out there. There is stuff piled to the side of the washer and dryer, and I thought, no, I just need peace. And so I brought the chair around. And so I did set up my workspace. It ended up being Sunday, but what I do now on laundry days is I wait and take my laundry down when I'm painting. That way I can hear when it's time to add fabric softener, and I just take those few steps, put it in, and go back in. I'm not seeing the magnitude of what's on the other side. So I did have to run a few errands Friday afternoon, one of which was when I was at Walmart, because my 2 current tables, the one I normally paint on and the one I do my box packings on, are holding stuff from downstairs. So I looked at the price of another table, and I didn't buy it immediately because, remember, my landlord and the flooring guy were coming by that evening, and if he was going to say, we can come by next Tuesday and do this, I didn't want to invest in a table. Not that it was horribly expensive, but I didn't feel it was worth setting up for a couple days, because obviously when they're working down there, I wouldn't be able to be down there. So when he came by and said it was going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get the tile anyway, and at that point he had not offered to come in the evening. That came on Monday. So Saturday I went out and bought the table when I was running my errands, and I arrived home, and I took the table downstairs, but I had some groceries from the grocery store I came up to put away, and then my husband came home, and he was home for the remainder of the day. So Sunday I went down there and I finished setting up. So I was able to paint on Sunday and a few other days this week. Oh, that's the angels singing, y'all. I cannot tell you the joy bubble it brought me to be back to painting. I've been working. I had two babies that were about halfway done. One of them has already had the first layer of sealant and is now in the bake cool phase. And then the other one I'm still doing some more details on. And next, and this was part of the concern for me, is I am signed up for a hair painting class at the Kansas Doll Show at the end of August, and that was going to be one of my next babies on the table, was the baby I'm taking the head of to that class. So not having any details from our landlord, I was thinking, well, maybe I need to see if I can sell my slot in the class or whatever. So anyway, I didn't. I'm not somebody who jumps on stuff like that quickly. Because I do believe things eventually work out how they're supposed to. And so the gentleman came by and surveyed the exterior of the house on, what day was that? I don't even recall what day that was, just the other day, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So I don't have any details about timing for that. I'm really praying they're able to do that before the tiles come in, because I did say to him, because when he said he could do it, he'll come by in the evenings and do it, I said, well, you're going to fix the inside before the outside? He's like, well, I'm hoping the big rains are over. Well, I don't really personally love that gamble. But anyway, so I'm really hoping now that they had the other guy come out and give the estimate for all what they're going to do outside, I'm hoping they actually start doing that while they're waiting for the tiles. So anyway, I also found out that they're going to be putting our back porch, they're changing it to composite, which I'm really excited about. He had told us when we first moved in, they said that was a future plan of theirs. So that's going to be done also in a few weeks. So lots of changes here, which is, all positive. But in the meantime, I'm at least able to paint, which is just a joy bubble for me. And, a big thank you to all my friends who have been, supportive during all this. I just haven't had an update until now. I did plan on making a video yesterday, but my day kind of got away from me, and I just didn't get to it. And but I have been watching videos. Congratulations to all you ladies who have received new babies. There have been a few wonderful box openings. And I have not been, I'll be honest, I have not been as active as normal in terms of watching, because generally I watch when I paint. And since I wasn't painting, I, watched here and there, like while I did dishes and stuff. I'd try to catch a video here and there. And of course, I learned a long time ago, you can't go back. But I have been watching some videos and, enjoying the ones that I have been watching. And I'm trying to think. I'll pick up a bit more now that I'm back to painting. But thank you for hanging in there with me, everybody, and those of you that are watching this, thank you very much. I know sometimes when you kind of quote-unquote disappear, and I guess it's only been a few weeks, so I haven't really disappeared, that, people can fall off. And that's understandable, and it's nothing personal. We all have to pick and choose who and what and when we watch. So it just, I haven't had any news to give you about the flood, and I shouldn't call it a flood, about the water in the basement. And I, only just started painting and really got sucked into it, I'll be honest. But I have had to pace myself. I do only allow myself to paint so much each day because I don't want to irritate my thumb again, which, I don't know if that's in view or not, is doing so much better. So, it was a blessing to have an extra break, I suppose, for my thumb. Let's see, what else? Anyway, but let me tell you all what Zolani is wearing. This is one of my favorite designers. It's called Katamini. I have loved them for many, 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 many years. It is a little pair of shorts. They're kind of bubbly, look like a bit like knickers. They are a green and white plaid. And then, excuse me, on each leg they have 3 buttons. The top one is orange, the middle one is pink, and the bottom one is red. The bottom one is actually a working button that's at the hem of the shorts, which come to her knee. And then it has this really cute, it's a spaghetti strap top, so that's why I put a sweater over, because she's 3/4 limbs. It has 3 layers. The bodice part is like an aqua blue, and there are flowers on there that are in nice little rows. They are the lime green, it's kind of a lime green, I guess, green, and then a row of red and orange, and then in between each flower are a few dots. It's very organized pattern. I love that so much. Then the next ruffle is the green and white gingham of the shorts, and then the next one is, the background is white, and there are large flowers of the same color, and there's an underlayer there of red, so it's just a few layers. And then the sweater is the green, and it has this. Does it have the same 3 buttons? No, it has little buttons down the front. The top one's pink, the middle one's green, and has like a couple fabric backgrounds making it look like a flower, and then the third one is actually a crocheted flower that is red with green around it. And then around the hem of the sweater are just little embroidered squares in pink, green, and red, darker green. And the sleeves have little like pin dot holes, and so does the bodice in little like diamond shape. So, and then I didn't have access. This actually, all my baby clothes are in a couple boxes, and I thought, well, let me see if I can find something on top for Zolani. And I did grab this out, but I couldn't remember which box had headbands. I didn't mark anything like I would when I move, because I figure I'll just open all the few boxes that go in the nursery and put it all together in the same day. It's not like a move where you need to know where everything goes kind of thing. But I did spend a few weeks ago I spent an afternoon making headbands, and so I snatched one from those because they're hanging out in my going home with baby stuff. And this one has they're paper flowers. The center one is yellow and either side is kind of a peachy orange. And then it's just on a simple white string. So there is Miss Zolani. She's going barefoot. Oh, she's got the best size feet for shoes. Oh, this baby is just so beautiful. Anyway, so that's pretty much my update. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Today the sun is out, which I'm happy for. So I am going to actually go do one more bake on the baby. That's baking and cooling. And then I have some errands to run. For those of you who follow me, this is my Thursday. My husband is at work, even though it is Saturday. So yeah, that's what's going on here. I think I've updated you on everything. I'm probably sure I missed a million things. But anyway, thank you again for stopping by today. I am going to try to get back into making more regular videos. But of course, in a couple weeks when downstairs is finished, I will have to again pause my painting and rebuild downstairs. While it took me a couple days to get everything up and the carpeting up and everything. You know, putting away is a much different process because, you know, picking up, you're just lifting off the floor and putting somewhere. Now I've got to organize, which I love. And I've actually have some ideas. I'm going to be changing the nursery a bit. And I'm mentally working through exactly how I'm going to be doing it. Because I've always loved rearranging furniture and redecorating and stuff. I just find in a smaller house it's a little different than in a bigger space. Although when we were growing up, we lived in an apartment and I used to rearrange my bedroom every Saturday. So, but that's a whole nother story. So I just have not ever redecorated the nursery since we've been here. So I'm going to be doing some changes down there. And it was so funny because when I was, one of the babies I'm working on has somebody who's getting works in progress. And once I started painting the other day, I'm like, oh, my photo area is totally taken apart for doing works in progress. And I don't want to be, not that it's a big deal, but bringing the kid up here for photos after every bake, I thought. So I had a couple things that were in the round crib, you know, the Queen's throne. So I took those things out and I put my little, I have the fabric up here because I had sold some kits, or I have some kits for sale on Facebook. Some have sold, but I had pulled out that little bunch up fabric that I use for works in progress to take photos of the kits I'm selling. And so I took that downstairs, and it's so funny. I had a conversation with the lady I'm sending works in progress to about how the Queen would be so upset to know her throne is being used this way. But she's up here on the bed having a slumber party with all the other babies, so she has no idea. But she might sniff it out when I lay her back in there, huh? She'll be saying, off with her head. But I can tell her back, I can take off your head. Anyway, so you got to keep the humor through all of it, ladies. And I know that was a little bit warped, but that's how my brain thinks. So anyway, but yeah, so I know I've seen some other videos where there's been other crazy weather. I've seen hail and lots of rain in other areas. So be safe, everybody. And, oh, Herlanda, I have to tell you, I loved the other day when you sneezed a sparkle. Oh, that brought me so much joy. I meant to message you and say, oh, you sneezed a sparkle. Oh, your stuffing is glitter. Oh, that's terrible that I think in reborn terms all the time. But anyway, I know you're not stuffed with glitter, but that just brought me so much joy the other day. And bless you. I did say bless you when you started sneezing. I do that. Do y'all do that when other people are making videos and they sneeze? Do y'all say God bless you? I don't know, but I do. I do that in stores too when I hear somebody sneeze. God bless you. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to end there because now I can see I'm going off on weird tangents. But Zolani sends a wave and a kiss to everybody out there. Thank you for stopping by, and do stay blessed and safe wherever you are. Oh, let me grab my, we got to have the joy bubble, right? All right, everybody, remember each and every day it's going to dangle here to find your joy. Talk to you later. Thank you for stopping by. Bye-bye.